Call the Vegas Golden Knights the Super Bowl security because we're all about ending streaking. Yeah. But before that, not an ad, we're just going back to the Ottawa game first because Vegas goes up 2-0, which, yay, we can do that. We can have a lead, great. After this stretch of games, we immediately blow it. I was in Hampton, Georgia, Atlanta, at Atlanta Motor Speedway watching the NASCAR doubleheader on Saturday, which is a whole other thing I grew up watching anyway, not important. Was important for me and my family, but my son's first, anyway. I am in the car driving home. He's asleep in the back because it was a long day, and I put on the game. And immediately Ottawa scored their second goal to tie the game. So that was just great old fun. Marchessault is having a career year. He tied his career high of 30 goals, which he's done twice now, including last season in a contract year. 58 games in, 30 goals. That's incredible. That's for Vegas, that actually is, because that's the closest we've been to the 43 in year one from William Karlsson. Speaking of William Karlsson and Jonathan Marchessault, there was a 1971-81 line again on the ice the last couple of games. That's the misfit line, except instead of Riley Smith, it's now Brendan Brisson, which, you know, just my heart a little bit was bittersweet because it was so nice to see that combination out there again, but also so sad. Speaking of Brisson, he did not trip Stützle. How on earth is that a trip? He shoulder checked him and he fell down to Stützle, which, like, Stützle, yeah, he should have fallen there. And I'm not trying to call him a flopper or whatever. I'm just saying, how is that a trip? It's not! Second period on the power play, normally you just write that off, but hey, actually Stevenson scores here. He just walks in from the point and just snipes it, bows it in. Karlsson was screening Forsberg in front, so you know, but hey, we scored a power play goal. It's not like our power play looked any better, it was just that one off shot like 10 seconds in. Speaking of goalie being screened, Thomas Chabot sends one on after he's on the point, skates towards the middle. There's like 5 or 6 bodies in front of Thompson, I have no idea, like, yeah, 100% he shouldn't have been able to see that, and it goes in. And Senators pull within 1, but you already know they pull and they tie the game. It was 4-on-4 right before this, and then it wasn't. Martinez, what are you doing with that pass? Awful giveaway straight over to Batherson, who rips it past Thompson. Tie game. Logan Thompson had a good game. He played solidly for the whole game. The 2 goals that he allowed here, awful giveaway right in front of him, and then the one before he's screened. Like, what can you do? Same with this third one that Ottawa scores 5 minutes into the third, where Chabot sends it on from the point and it's tipped perfectly down by Norris. What on earth are you supposed to do there if you're Thompson? Thompson was tracking it well, and then it was whatever. So the time keeps going, and funny thing, Vegas pulls Logan Thompson, so it's a 6-on-5 opportunity. Automatic empty netter for Ottawa, right? Hopefully they don't slap this one in, I don't know. But that doesn't happen, because for the first time this year, Vegas scores. Win the faceoff. Karlsson back to Marshy, over to Theodore, over back to Karlsson, who sends it over to Stevenson, who rips it, almost the exact same as his power play goal from earlier, where it goes far side and in after Forsberg comes over. And yeah, we tied the game with a minute left. Okay, and we get a point out of this, which is just solid. I love that we got a point, except we had a 2-goal lead. And then overtime, Ottawa definitely had the better of us, but no goal, so we go to the shootout, and the shootout, it was just 1 goal from Ottawa at the end. Stützle had a really nice move to get past Thompson, and again, for a shootout, Thompson with no goal support. Flashbacks to 2022, which is a bad thing because we missed the playoffs. We had a ton of injuries like we do right now, but hey, we got a point. Let's just move on to Toronto again, where last time we played them. It is currently the second intermission. I'm not watching the rest of that game. Are you kidding me? Don't really need to say more than that, eh, do I? And out the gate, Toronto continues where they left off, out shooting us 5-0, but then we rally back to tie the shots at 9-9 going into the second. That's all you need to know about the first period. The second period, things get kicked off. Face off in Vegas' defensive zone, and Toronto wins it. They have a shot towards the net. Barbashev was on Domi, who Domi streams towards the net because that's what he does best. But that leaves Barbashev all alone, and when Hill makes the save, and there's a scramble in front of the net when Domi goes towards, Barbashev just kind of sneaks back. And then there's a stretch pass because Vegas gets the puck and rips it to him, and he's all alone for a breakaway, and he buries it past Samsonov to make it 1-0 Vegas Golden Knights. Cherry picking, yeah, 100%, but hey, it worked here, so Brody Riley, lost track of him. One thing that I didn't mention against Ottawa that I should have, because this fourth line, which is all AHLers, the Rempel, Morelli, and Byron Frace, who as a former Maple Leaf, has been really, really well. They've had multiple different opportunities, specifically Rempel and Morelli against Ottawa, but this line continued to generate in both games really, really well. I was really impressed, and it pays off here because Rempel forechecks, scraps the puck, sends it back to Theo. On Morelli tips it, it's in past Samsonov to make it 2-0 Vegas. Morelli, his second NHL goal in his 5th career game. He had his first in his first last week or whatever. Yet for this defensive zone face-off, that line kind of screws up here because Byron Frace falls after the face-off that was won by Toronto, which leaves Bertuzzi all alone, and he just had a hat trick and he scores again here from the face-off circle, shoots it past Hill, screened by Martinez, tipped by Martinez, and in, so it's down to a 2-1 lead. But right before the period ends, Vegas restores the 2-goal lead. Marchessault and Brisson both forecheck, win the puck, pass it over to Carlson, who's in the slot, rips it past Samsonov, 3-1 Vegas. Such a timely goal because Toronto had momentum. They had a power play in there and they were definitely shifting that. And they are known as people that come back in games, which, you know, is not good for the struggling Golden Knights who are up by only 1 goal. So to have that buffer was great. And we continue that in the 3rd period. 10 minutes in, so a little bit of time after, there's an opportunity where Vegas keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Carlson crawls the puck, sends it on, off the post and out, past Samsonov. It went around him, and Marchessault came in, found it, because of course, his 31st career high in a season, and oh boy, that contract is gonna be expensive, because I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but Revo made it 4-2 in there, but on the empty netter, which Marner made a beautiful save. Marner for Vezina, why not? Petro gets the puck from 180 feet out and sends it on, and it's barely tipped by Marchessault from 155 feet out and perfectly to go in, stealing Petro's goal. However, I don't know that it would have went in if he didn't tip the puck. I don't know if Petro's initial shot would have gone in because of how much it redirected the puck in, and that was a perfect shot tip. I've never seen a deflection from that far out that actually went in. That was a goal, like obviously empty netter, but whatever. Awesome. 5-2, and ain't no rest for the wicked because Nick Waugh makes it 6-2 with 30 seconds left. Like, why are we trying to score? I mean, I guess I don't really care. Hey, it's a similar score to the 7-3 victory for Toronto in our building. 6-2, great, poetic even. So thank you, Stone and Eichel, for being injured for us to be able to have circumvented this win. Almost forgot. Victory Flamingo. If you're new here, it's a Vegas thing. I'm not copying Steve Dangle's Victory Puppies. I'm just ripping off my own team's thing. I noted earlier in the video that we were streak enders, and that's because the Toronto Maple Leafs were on an 8-game win streak or 7-game win streak, which is the first time they've had that in the Matthews era. And we ended that streak, and we ended the Oilers ones from earlier. So just Canadian teams streaking, I guess, is not allowed with Vegas, but Golden Knights win that game, and they lost to the Senators in the shootout. Overall, goaltending was a big story for here. I think Thompson played really well against the Senators, despite the fact that he allowed 3. And Hill played really well tonight, but I think defensively, Vegas was really sound tonight. It looked like the way that we played to win the Stanley Cup. We had the whole team buying in. Petro blocked a shot once in the 2nd period or 3rd or whatever, and the puck bounced back out, and then Hill was in perfect position to make that save. There was one moment in the 2nd period where Hill was all over the place because his skate blade came out of his skate and he couldn't stop. It is impossible to skate without a blade. I left my skate guard on once, and that was awful. My knee was so wrecked. It didn't seem like Toronto knew what was happening because nobody was taking shots onto the basically empty net. So is what it is. Overall, and that 4th line, like I said, really, really solid. It was nice to see the reunion of the misfit line, kind of, with the new 19. And Theodore has had 8 points in his 4 games since returning from injury. But of course, he sat that out, you know, on purpose, the 35 games. Like we didn't add anybody and we didn't need a salary cap space for anything, but we sat him on purpose just because, you know, screw the cap, right? Interrupting his Norris level season, picking up right where he left off. So obviously he wasn't injured. You know, he didn't actually have surgery or whatever. That was just all baloney. Definitely wouldn't have needed him when we were completely struggling hard in December. And obviously because we were struggling the last 3 games with him in the lineup. But hey, that's gonna be it. I'm happy with tonight's win, so that's great. And that's gonna be it for games 58s and 9s nightly review. I'm caught up. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night.